So recently, I graduated college. I was in college for about 4.5 years. I started in 2020, September of 2020, and I just graduated about 2 weeks ago in December of 2025. And I just wanted to take this time and this video to talk about the things that I've learned in my 4.5 years of college. I did make a video way back in 2020 about everything I learned in my freshman year, and those things still apply, I would say. I haven't watched that video recently, but I would say they probably still apply. But I have a list here of all new things that I could think of that relate to the college experience as a whole, from your freshman year to your senior year of college. These are in no particular order. I just wrote them as I thought of them, so some of them might be a little more heartfelt or longer explanations than others, but that's just because I was writing as I was thinking. So, and I just have some skate gameplay in the background. Might be a little rusty. I haven't played skate in about a month, so forgive me. So the first thing I have is take a photo or video class. Now I know not everyone is interested in photo or video. I was a communications major, so obviously that was kind of in my wheelhouse. So I would say if you're in that area, take a video class for sure, a photography class if you want to. But I would recommend a photography class to any major, just if you need some credits as like a extracurricular credits, because it is a really easy class, that's for sure. Photography class, and it's something you could do while you're on campus. I commuted, so I had a bit of a different style to my pictures because it wasn't all on-campus pictures. But I would recommend that to anyone because it allows you to be really creative, and at least my photography professor was really, really chill about everything. As long as you had the style of whatever that week's assignment was that you needed, you could take pictures of anything. And the final was really easy. It's just like a collage of photos that like related, at least in my school. But it allows you to kind of get some creative flex where if you're in a not so creative degree field, maybe such as like business or STEM or anything like that, it allows you to just have some sort of creative, and it kind of helps break up the rest of the work. And like I said, it's a super easy class. It's like a super easy A. So I would definitely recommend taking a photo class for anybody, or if you're interested in video, take a video class for sure. The next thing I have here is travel when you can. I know that's really kind of a odd thing for college students. College students are likely in lots and lots of debt. But I'm not saying, you go to a different country, but just, if you have the time and if you have the money, spring break or winter break, take a weekend and go somewhere with your friends. We would always go to a indoor water park during Christmas break when all my friends were in college, or after high school. We would go to an indoor water park during Christmas break for just for 2 or 3 days. We all pitched in our money and paid for the room, and it was great. Things like that you can spare some money. If you really can't, there's plenty of free traveling you could do. Go to a state park, go hiking, go just have like a beach day, depending on what state you live in. There's always places to travel and see, but college, you can feel like you're stuck just doing the same stuff and in the same environment. Pretty much my entire college career was spent in about maybe 5 total buildings across campus. That's usually how that works, but it just, you get it's a little monotonous seeing the same buildings, the same people, stuff like that. So, get out when you can. Another thing, this is a little more academic. This list is kind of just it's both academic and non-academic things that I've learned. One academic thing for sure is to check for certificates. Sometimes in your major or minor required classes, they can line up to actually count for a certificate for towards your degree, which basically means that you get a certificate saying, hey, I am like proficient in this. So for me, an example was I have a certificate in video production, and that I simply just got that because the classes I needed to take for the video production certificate were already part of my required classes for my major. So then my advisor was like, hey, you can apply for this certificate because you have all the classes. I was like, oh, okay. So be sure to check that if your advisor hasn't already told you about them already. Somewhere on your school's website, there'll probably be a page for it. Or, you might find out you're actually only like 1 or 2 classes off from getting a certificate. So then you maybe would take that during your next semester or at some point so you could claim that before graduation. Another big thing that I want to talk about that I don't think gets talked about enough in college, and that I think is solely because of maybe like friendships or like FOMO, and that's taking a gap year. Now, I took a gap year between getting my associates and my bachelor's, so I did 2 years getting my associates from 2020 to 2022, and then I took a gap year until 23, and then fall 23 into 24, and then I just graduated in December 25, but that was not because I took a gap year, that was because I only took 4 classes instead of 5 in my first 2 semesters back after my gap year, where I should have been taking 5, I only took 4, so that was on me. I could have been done in spring of 2024, but I decided to just wait it out, and I finished in December of 25. But taking gap year is okay, and I get where it can be hard because you might have already made connections with people in your first 2 years, and now if you take a gap year, you might never see them again, or come back after a year and then they graduate before you. But it is a great way to break up college and not feel overwhelmed or as stressed, and it gives you the ability to make some money in that time, maybe working a regular job, so you can help pay for college. I actually graduated completely debt-free because of my gap year and because of working part-time on the weekends or after class during my time at college. So I am completely debt-free. I don't know how much total my degree was, but I think it's in the range of about $30,000. But I've been able to pay that off by working part-time and taking a gap year and just building up, saving a ton of money. So it's something to think about. It's not for everybody, and if you're already on like a loan thing, you might as well just do it all. But if you really just feel like you need some time off, you don't even need to take a gap year. You could just take a gap semester. But I would highly recommend at least thinking about it if you're feeling maybe a little burnt out. Another thing that you could do if you're feeling, well, maybe not if you're feeling burnt out, but if you're trying to move along, maybe graduate a little early, is you can take a summer or winter class. Most colleges have certain classes that you can take during the summer or winter that are kind of shortened. They're like 3-week classes. They're like condensed. You still have to pay for them, obviously, and they are a little more expensive because they're online mostly. At least that's how it worked in my school. But I found it very helpful because it helped me kind of catch up because I only took 4 classes in my first 2 semesters back after my gap year. So it helped me catch up. I took 1 summer class, and then I took 1 winter class as well. And most of the time they're just like your normal like STEM classes or basic, like I was like a public speaking, or what was the class? I took like a journalism class online and something else. But point is that it can be helpful if you have the extra money and or you have the time to do it during winter or summer break. I would recommend the winter ones because the winter ones are about 3 weeks. I think the summer ones might be a little longer just because summer break is longer than winter break. But the winter ones were only three weeks. So you literally have like 2 weeks of work and then 1 week of finals, pretty much. So I enjoyed taking summer and winter classes, and it doesn't feel that bad. You know, you sacrifice just a little bit of time each day during your break. It's not that bad. You do it in the morning, or you can do it late at night, depending on how you like to study. And point is, it's worth it. I would say if you have the money to pay for the extra for it being an online class. Another thing I could say, and you probably hear this from a lot of people, or like your advisors, or like the people you talk to when you first get there, it's try to participate in, I would say, at least one on-campus activity. Doesn't matter what it is, but just do something on campus. Especially for me, as someone who was a commuter, I felt very disconnected from campus, and just like it was basically just, yeah, it was school. I was there to go to school. I didn't feel like I lived there because I didn't. Participate in something online, or something on campus. I participated in a few things. They had a bags tournament a few times that I did with one of my buddies, which was fun. You know, it was just like a whatever casual tournament that they set out bags for and you played. And then I also participated in bowling league during 2 semesters as well, and actually won the first place prize in one of the semesters this past semester. So it's just something that helps, again, break up the cycle of college, and doesn't feel like it's just you're doing nothing but working there. That there also is things to have fun on campus that you can do for free most of the time. Next thing is apply for internships. Depending on where you are, internships might be hard to come by, but from where I was at, there was quite a few internships available to me, and I was able to get one. I only got one though. I basically got one in my second to last semester that summer. So I did my spring semester, did an internship over the summer, and then came back and finished my degree this December. So I only had one my whole 4 years of college, because I don't know, I guess I never applied for any or never thought about it. But after doing the one, I would say try to do as many as you can, as many as you're physically or mentally able to do. Not like multiple at a time, I would say, but you know, one a semester or one a year, because they really help and they look really good on a resume, especially for at least my degree, communications. Having that experience under your belt really looks good to employers and shows that you know what you're doing. Sometimes they pay you. Mine did not, which kind of sucked, but it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun, and you meet new people, and it helps you interact more as well with people that you might not have never met or might never see again, actually. But I'd say overall internships are great. A really good part of college lifestyle. Relating to internships and also jobs, I would say start applying for jobs before you even graduate. I was able to land a part-time job that is within my degree field before graduating, and I'm already applying for full-time jobs in my degree field now, and I was before I even graduated. I would say the beginning of your last semester, I would start applying for jobs. As many as you are mentally and physically able to, because right now the job market is really bad, and a lot of people or employers just won't answer you, give you the time of day, or just completely ghost you. So I would just start applying like crazy. Also, keep a spreadsheet of jobs you've applied to. I started doing this because again, with the job market the way it is, you're going to be applying to a lot of jobs. You might start losing track. So then you get an email and you're like, oh, which job was this? How much did they pay? I don't even remember. So then it just helps. And it's helped me for sure. So I would recommend completely start applying for jobs maybe in your last semester. Could even start applying that summer, but I wouldn't start until maybe your last semester. Mentioned earlier, try to work a part-time job. Any money coming in while you're going to college is good money. Whether you're spending it or saving it, it's any money is good money for sure. Whether it's part-time or full-time. You could do full-time if you work after your classes, if you have morning classes, or you could just work part-time on the weekends. Whatever you do, I would recommend any sort of job. I worked retail, and then I worked some warehouse job, and it can help you start making small payments toward your student loan, or in my case, pay off your loans as you're going to school. I did like a payment plan through the school, so basically I paid about $1,000 a month, a little over $1,000 a month for 4 months, first 4 months of the semester, and that was my tuition for the semester. That's what I did. So I just working part-time and saving your money right, and the gap year, I was able to pay that off every semester. A lot of colleges do have like on-campus jobs too. They don't pay great, at least the ones at my school didn't, but again, any money is good money coming towards paying your tuition or just buying food, gas, things like that. Otherwise, college towns usually have a lot of businesses, whether that's food or retail, which may suck, but I still think it would be worth it to work part-time at one of those places over just not working at all while going to college, if you can handle it. If you have you're taking 17 credits and you have classes that go from 9 a.m. until 4, and you're just going to be fucking exhausted all the time, then I would say maybe it's not worth it. But if you have the time, then I would definitely do it. Take advantage of the free things that your campus offers. My campus offered a lot of free things. As I mentioned earlier, we could do bowling. They had on-campus activities, like little tournaments like that. We had Mario Kart tournaments and pool. They had a lot of pool tables in our campus. Like I said, bowling. Also, just other little things like academic things. You could print for free. You could rent out camera equipment for free, video equipment for free. All this really professional stuff too. And it was all just free. You just had to fill out a form to reserve it and bring it back on time. Campuses offer a lot of free things that I just don't think get used enough by students, whether that's because they just don't know about them or they don't get advertised as much, I don't know. But I definitely took advantage of a lot of free things on campus during my time. And you might as well, because your tuition's going towards paying for it anyway. So if you want to print off, the B-movie script in 50-point font, you can do that. You have free will. We're on the last two things here. This one's going to be kind of cheesy, but I still really think it's important. It's enjoy the little moments. Whether that be, after your final, and I'm just coming up with examples that have happened to me. After your final, take a big breath and you're just oh, I'm done for the semester. And you come back and you're just thinking about what you're going to do, or maybe you go do something. Maybe go out to eat with your friends and celebrate. Or, maybe you're having a weekend night. You had a couple drinks in you and you're out getting fast food and you're just laughing your ass off in the back of a McDonald's or a Taco Bell. Little moments like that. It's important to enjoy those because, college is quite an experience and it's something that a lot of people only experience once. Most people only experience once, if at all. Again, for me, as someone who's a commuter and not someone who lived on campus, my style of going to college is definitely different than a lot of others because I did not want to pay the dorm prices. But I still made the most of my college experience, and I have a lot of memories that I will carry with me. The last thing I want to talk about is make connections. If you want to, I have that in brackets. You will meet a lot of people during your college, your time at college. Some good, some bad. For example, I have worked in, I would say, three or four different type groups, I would say, but really, really small groups of people that I got to interact with for a good portion of my semester. So one semester I had a class with only 4 other people, and that class was very creative heavy, and we got to basically do what we wanted creatively, as long as it related to the class. So we did a podcast every like 2 weeks around in that class about what we wanted to talk about. And I was very close with those people for those, however many months of that semester. And now I don't talk to any of them. And that's because I didn't make that connection. I don't know if I wanted to or not, but I didn't make that enough of a connection to do that. My internship I worked with about 5 other people, and I worked very closely with them just about every other day during the summer. And I have all their Instagrams, and I don't really talk to any of them. One of them even went to my school, and I've told them, I'll see you around, and I did not see him once. Now the semester's over, and I don't know if I'll ever see him again. It's just, again, it's that make connections if you want to. If you want to, you can. If not, completely fine. Because I've made the initial connection, and we've talked and everything like friends, but then after class is over or whatever, it's, I'll never talk to these people again. So if you want to make connections, making work connections is also good, LinkedIn, shit like that. But that's a different thing completely. But if you want to make connections, make connections. It's good to have, I would say, a few. And I have made a few, but I could have made more if I would have chose to continue reaching out the olive branch, if you will. But I didn't. Chose not to. So those are all the things that I could think of that I learned in my 4 years of college. Again, these were a lot more personal. Some might not directly connect to everyone that goes to college, but I feel like most of them do. And most of them are not academically inclined. They're more just kind of personal things and stuff like that. But I had a good time in college. It was definitely interesting. I'm glad I did it. I'm a first generation college student. I'm graduating debt-free. That feels so good to say. Again, the job market's a little messy right now. I've been trying to find a job. I've had a few interviews, hoping to find something, and just keep moving. Just keep moving for sure. So, to anyone who's thinking about going to college, this could be a good video to watch. If anyone who's currently going to college, this could be a great video to watch. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.